Good morning, weather fans. It's Wednesday, August 21st, about 9:30 in the morning. And I have exciting news for you if you live in the purple area and the orange area on this map. A very big cool down is headed your way a week from today if the forecast comes exactly true. And we will go over that here shortly. In my case, how else? Sorry, I have a million short jokes. I'm not very tall. Anyway. Here are your watches and warnings across the country, starting with the red flag warning going on for Wyoming. So kind of windy there, a little bit of South Dakota too, with some dense fog in South Dakota, not right around the mountains there, southwest side. Okay, but we get to our heat advisories and our excessive heat warnings for Texas. A little bit of eastern New Mexico too, Chavez County with a heat advisory. That includes you, Roswell, and a little bit there in the north central part of the state. A little bit of a heat advisory down around Miami as well in Florida. And then when you see the little bit of green here and there from Florida up into the Carolinas, some river flooding concerns still going on there. Are you concerned about severe weather? Well, you should be if you're in Montana, say north of Billings. Maybe North Dakota too. And even in the dark green, some isolated severe storms are possible through western South Dakota, western Nebraska, western Kansas, eastern Colorado. And you see southeastern New Mexico. Southeastern Arizona. So say from Tucson to Phoenix and surrounding areas could see isolated strong storm. Maybe even some flooding there, according to our surface map. Heavy rain flash flooding possible across Arizona into southern Utah. So when you get up into southern Utah, maybe St. George or Zion National Park could see some heavy rainfall and some flash flooding, so watch out there. Our stationary front remains quasi-stationary along the eastern slopes of the Rockies, so we see those showers and storms from the Four Corners with monsoon, and then enough moisture through the Central Plains up into the northern plains and northern Rockies for some showers and storms. Oregon and Washington as well, mainly on the western side of the Cascades. And you see the area of severe weather possible, Montana into North Dakota. Meanwhile, in the southeast, could see some scattered showers and storms also up in the northeast. Today's high will be very high once again for the desert southwest into the south central U.S. 104 for Lubbock, 110 Abilene Way, 105 Roswell, New Mexico, Midland, Odessa. 99 though. 99 Dallas. A little bit of a break. But San Antonio still 107, 103 Houston. So very hot. 90s and even 80s as you go across the southeast. Mostly 80s to near 90 for Florida. And then you get up into the 70s as far south as, say, North Carolina, into Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky in the 70s. We see low 80s for, say, northern parts of Tennessee. And then you get further up into the north, the cool areas here. We're looking at Pennsylvania, New York State, especially Vermont, New Hampshire, the higher elevations of Massachusetts into Connecticut and up into Maine, where we see a few 60s even, 70s for the Great Lakes, and 70s for Iowa, near 80 for Omaha, 70s for Minnesota, and then it starts getting hot again as you go further west in the plains, back to the low 90s for western South Dakota, even western Kansas and Nebraska, and in eastern Colorado. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest, we've got 70s for the Oregon, western Washington, some 60s thrown in, especially with elevation, and down central California, near 90 to low 90s. Tomorrow, looks like a bigger area of heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible, centered around the Four Corners. Meanwhile, further to the west, it's a critical fire weather possible in the drier air in Nevada with some wind. Our front approaching the Oregon coast with that low, so scattered showers, Washington, Oregon, Northern California. Scattered showers through the Central Plains up into the upper Midwest, moving into the Great Lakes. Showers possible along our stationary front, along the Gulf Coast, Florida, of course, again, and some showers up there in New England. Tomorrow morning's lows. Look how comfortable, early fall-like for, say, New York State, mid-40s. I'm sorry, Pennsylvania, mid-40s. New York State, low 50s. 53, Hartford, Connecticut. 54, Portland, Maine. Even 50s for eastern Iowa, into, up into Minnesota, over to Wisconsin. 40s to near 50 for Michigan, so very pleasant. Even Lexington, Kentucky, 51 to start today. 60 for Nashville and Chattanooga and Memphis. So just beautiful here. A little warmer as you head further south into the southeast, and a little warmer as you head further west into the plains, with lows in the 60s and even 70s as you get down into Oklahoma, 70s and even low 80s in Texas. Meanwhile, in the Rockies, nice and cool as you would expect this time of year, 40s and 50s. Lots of 40s and 50s for the Pacific Northwest, and even into, say, Nevada. Some 50s even in Central California and along the coast of California, and then, of course, hotter in the deserts. Highs tomorrow. We continue with the heat in Texas. Did I mention a big cool down coming in a week from today? I'm going to show you that. But it's hot right now. You're going to be so happy when I show you these maps. All right, 90s into the southeast, 80s for Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and even into Tennessee. We see low 80s for Kentucky, but upper 70s into the Midwest, even some mid 70s in there, mid to upper 70s for Pennsylvania, New York, and even a little cooler than that as you head up into the Northeast. Again, highs tomorrow's in the plains, a few 90s there in Kansas, some 80s as you go through Nebraska, South Dakota. I do that a lot. South Dakota, North Dakota, and into Montana, and cooler along the west coast. Here's your rainfall for the next 2 days. Florida, the big winner. I mean, if you want rain. Widespread 1 to 2 inches with more here. Four Corners also getting quite a bit of rain with widespread half an inch to an inch for Arizona, but some areas well above an inch and a half. And that'll be the same for southern Utah and moving into Colorado. Further north into the plains, our severe area today, we'll also see some extra rain, parts of Montana into North Dakota. And then our storm approaching the Pacific Northwest with some heavy rainfall, especially with elevation, Olympic Mountains and the Cascades, and some lighter amounts along the coast, but still up to a half inch here, maybe even more. Looking ahead to Friday, just real quick, just see widely scattered showers in the Pacific Northwest with our storm moving onshore here. Also western Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, the Four Corners. A little bit of rain in the plains, Oklahoma, Kansas, up into Iowa, which is the Midwest. So upper Midwest with a chance for showers as well and a few storms. Maybe moving into the western Great Lakes, and then a chance of showers along the southeast. All right, let's get into our GFS model and just check out the rainfall real quick before we get to the good stuff on our big cool down. So this morning, we don't see a lot of activity, but that'll be increasing here in Florida as we get later in the day. And look at this big blob of moisture here. This is Thursday at 0Z. So this is tonight, early evening, and into Colorado, parts of Arizona where we see this heavy rainfall too. So monsoon and then enough moisture here with our low moving out of the Rockies. Some pretty good storms for South Dakota into Nebraska. Those will march into Nebraska and fall apart as we get towards midnight tonight. We see the rain lingering, and some of this could be heavy again for Arizona, southern Utah, and a few showers for the southeast. As we get into the day tomorrow, not a lot going on, just a few showers southeast into Florida, a little bit of rain up here in Minnesota. Four Corners starting to get active. Remember, this is our bullseye for heavy rainfall possible tomorrow as we get into the afternoon here and then into the evening. And we do see scattered showers and storms, and some of those with heavy rainfall, even moving eastern Colorado into the plains, and a little bit of rain up here in the upper Midwest. Looking at you, Minnesota, and some rains down there in Florida. As we go Friday, early morning Friday and into the morning Friday, lingering rains from mostly South Carolina down through Florida. And then we see some light rain moving into the Pacific Northwest. This is Friday morning. And then, approaching noon. And then some showers up here, Utah into Colorado. Those get a little stronger as they lift northeast. Some rain continuing Pacific Northwest and increasing. Still monsoon showers, Arizona, New Mexico, and some rain busting out in parts of Texas, moving into Oklahoma as we get into, this is midnight Friday night. As we get into Saturday, we see some showers move, kind of around the southeast. The bigger rains would be the Pacific Northwest with our system here. And then Saturday afternoon, evening, some pretty good rains here from northern New Mexico into southern Colorado. And then as we get into, this is Saturday night at midnight and into Sunday, you see an area of showers, pretty good showers here in the Midwest, Missouri into Illinois. And then Sunday, this is afternoon, evening, Four Corners blowing up with a few showers in here, South Dakota into Minnesota. Brookings getting wet, South Dakota moving into Minnesota. Again, this is about midnight Sunday as we get into Monday. All right, here's the exciting part. Are you sitting down? This is a week from today. So this is Wednesday. This is August 28th, and this is in the morning, 12Z. So about 7 a.m. Central Time. And this is our anomaly map. And shout out to POW Ponder Weather. Love that guy. I've been watching him since he had just a few hundred subscribers. I was one of his early, he's got up to 250,000 or something now. The dude is really good with his weather stuff. And so I kind of stole this idea from him for yesterday. So shout out to POW Ponder on weather. And so this is our anomaly map from the GFS. And what this is our departure from normal. So starting out the day on Wednesday, we're 15, 20 degrees above average for South Dakota, North Dakota, into Wyoming, and even into the plains. Now you can see already we're getting close to average here in Texas, but watch this area here in the Pacific Northwest and especially Alberta and BC, Canada. This cold air here as I just move through time. This is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, Friday morning. Look at this. And as we get into Friday, the 30th, which is, it's a week. This is a week from Friday. We have temperatures here where it's very hot right now. Well below average, 15 to 20 degrees below average, all the way from the Central Rockies into the Southern Plains and into Texas up through Oklahoma. And so I looked up the temperature. The average temperature for Roswell this time of year, a week from now, is 90. And so you subtract 70 from 90, you get 73. 73 degrees. And as we go through the afternoon, here's 19 degrees above or below average. And this is getting into the afternoon on Friday, August 30th. We're talking temperatures around 69, 70 degrees for high temperatures a week for Friday in West Texas. 25 degrees below average in Abilene, where it's supposed to be like 110 today. And so the relief is coming. Now, again, we're 10 days out here, so this probably won't come exactly true, but I think these trends are going to be pretty reliable with the biggest cool off where it's the hottest right now. So something to look forward to. There is hope. Don't give up hope. All right, here are 6 to 10 day trends as we wind things down. You don't say that on YouTube. People click away. Don't click away, please. Oh, like and subscribe. Why not? All right. So the next 6 to 10 days, the hot stuff moving into the Midwest and then further into the Ohio Valley as we go through the next week or so. And the cool stuff in the Pacific Northwest, again, this is going to be diving southward. Yay. And then our precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days. And we've already talked about the heavy rainfall possible today and tomorrow for the Four Corners. And that's our best chance for above average precipitation. Southern Texas too. Florida too. And up here in North Dakota, Montana as well. Dry through the Midwest and into the South even. All right. Oh, I did want to do the weekend. Almost forgot. Highs on Saturday. Just a quick peek. So just to keep you depressed, I guess, in Texas, temperatures well above 100 here. Even into, say, southern Kansas, and heating up in the Midwest as well. And again, that heat's moving into the Ohio Valley as well as we get into the weekend and beyond. And cooling off for the Pacific Northwest, but still on the warm side. I'm in the low 80s for the Willamette Valley up there in Oregon. So that's what we can look forward to as we get into the weekend. And remember, the big cool off for you on Texas coming in about 10 days. Look forward to that. All right, that's a look at your weather for today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. The Weather Mike.